Welcome to Agile Highlanders. This is the explainer where founders and business leaders like you learn how to build better systems, scale a whole lot smarter, and grow sustainably. Today, we're unpacking a massive issue that absolutely plagues entrepreneurs globally. We're talking about why most startups just remain stuck.
Look, most founders are out there relentlessly chasing more sales, more customers, and more funding. They think capital is the ultimate cure-all, right? But here is the hard truth. Your startup doesn't have a revenue problem. It has a system problem.
Now, it's super easy to point fingers at the market when things go sideways. And yeah, research does show that poor product market fit contributes to 43% of startup failures. But because of that statistic, founders often mistakenly chase more sales. They genuinely believe a flashy new marketing campaign or a shiny new product feature will fix their fundamental flaws. They are literally trying to outsell a broken foundation.
Okay, let's really dive into this for a second, because another number you hear all the time in the startup world is the staggering percentage of failures where a startup simply runs out of money. But here's what the data actually reveals. Running out of cash, that's just the final symptom. It is absolutely not the root cause. By the time that bank account hit zero, the real damage was done months, maybe even years earlier, all through weak systems and poor execution.
To understand exactly how this happens, let's look at a story you can probably feel in your bones. Meet Rohan. Now, Rohan is a highly relatable founder. He runs a 6-person digital marketing agency. The guy is smart, he's deeply passionate, and he works harder every single year. But despite all that sweat equity and the grueling long hours, Rohan remains completely, paralyzingly stuck. The entire business depends on him for absolutely everything.
Let's trace his descent into this daily chaos. Every Monday, Rohan writes out a massive to-do list, right? Pitch new clients, deliver old projects, fix that lingering website issue, chase down payments, maybe finally hire that new designer. But by Wednesday, that list hasn't shrunk. It's multiplied. Everyone on his team is working incredibly hard, but nobody actually knows what's truly a priority. So they sit in long, completely pointless Zoom calls discussing 5 different clients at once. Verbal agreements get made and then instantly forgotten. By Friday, Rohan is just facing angry clients and missed deadlines.
From the outside looking in, everyone tells Rohan he just needs more clients. It totally looks like a revenue problem, but inside, it's what we call the MSME trap. It's informal management. When your operations rely on separate notebooks, scattered spreadsheets, and passing verbal instructions across a desk, well, steady, predictable growth is mathematically impossible. This fragmented way of working ensures that you stay small.
And here's the thing. This isn't just a Rohan problem. Micro, small, and medium enterprises are the literal backbone of the economy. Just to put it into perspective, in India alone, MSMEs contribute a massive 30% of the country's GDP, plus a highly significant share of exports. Yet this massive economic engine is constantly held back. It's just sputtering along because they're tied down by these exact same manual ad hoc operations.
Now, what's really interesting here is unmasking the hidden villains actually destroying these businesses. Let's talk about the 4 business killers, which are all fueled by weak execution and a severe lack of operational discipline.
Killer number 1 is having too many priorities. You know, when a founder says yes to every single idea, a new podcast, a new package, a new city, a new software tool, that complete lack of focus creates mere motion, not actual progress. Your team just keeps jumping between half-started projects. Because when everything is important, nothing gets completed properly. You're basically running on a treadmill, sweating profusely, but you haven't moved an inch forward.
Then we have killer number 2, too many meetings. Studies actually show that employees can waste up to 1/3 of their time. That's 3+ hours every single week just trapped in meetings. A simple 30-minute check-in morphs into this agonizing 90-minute debate. And these aren't productive strategy sessions, folks. These are calls where everything is discussed, but absolutely nothing is decided. Meetings just become a toxic replacement for actual decision-making and execution. Next up, killer number 3, no accountability. Imagine a client complains and you ask your team what happened. What is the most common soul-crushing response you hear? I thought someone else was doing it. Without clear ownership, tasks just fall right through the cracks into this vague team effort bucket. And who ultimately catches those dropped tasks? You, the founder. You become the ultimate bottleneck, managing the whole shebang yourself because there's no system to hold individuals accountable.
And finally, killer number 4, constant firefighting. By the end of the month, you aren't really a CEO anymore. You're a full-time firefighter. You're chasing last-minute approvals, reworking careless mistakes, deploying midnight fixes just to keep the lights on. Research literally calls this the silent profit killer.
Because these aren't random acts of bad luck. They are predictable emergencies caused by poor processes and a lack of standardization. And they're draining lots of profit through constant crisis mode.
So the absolute crucial point I want you to take away from this is that most small businesses stay stuck not because their idea is bad, not because their talent is weak, and definitely not because their funding dried up. They stay stuck because the work is completely scattered. As the saying goes, when everything is urgent, nothing actually moves. You've got to realize right now that these are not people problems. They aren't funding problems. They are system problems.
But listen, there is a way out of this trap. A blueprint specifically designed to defeat these 4 killers. It's called Agile. Agile is a system created to help teams mercilessly focus on priorities, make invisible work completely visible, create ironclad accountability, and significantly reduce the daily chaos. Now, I'm not going to teach you exactly how to implement the mechanics of Agile today, but I want you to know that the framework to escape the chaos absolutely exists and it works.
And this brilliantly illustrates the ultimate truth of entrepreneurship. The businesses that scale successfully aren't always the smartest in the room. They aren't always the ones with the deepest pockets or the most funding. They simply build systems that allow success to happen repeatedly without the founder having to manually turn the crank every single time.
So I leave you with this question to ponder. Will you stay stuck in the chaos, or will you build a system to scale? Thank you so much for joining Agile Highlanders for this explainer. Next time, we're going to pull back the curtain and explore exactly how Agile helps startups and MSMEs eliminate this chaos and create predictable, unstoppable growth. Until then, stay adaptable, keep improving, and keep climbing higher.